So, we are on book 16 already. 16. We're almost to that magic number 23, the one that I did a couple of months ago that I'm going to have to redo in a couple of weeks. I'm going to have to read that book again, and this time I'll know who everybody is in the book because I will have read the other 23. So, here we are. Book 16, The Reluctant Assassin. And welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Kairos, Tina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, no fancy smanchy stuff going on here. And as one of the people that I listen to is please hit the like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm, blah, blah, blah. I just want people to see my videos. I just want people to know I exist. I just want people to go through Eve Dallas and all 60 books with me, or all 30 books of Janet, or all 27 of Catherine Coulter. I want you to come with me through this journey. And all the if-thens that I did, there are so many out there. And I work so hard on those. And Flashback Monday. Those books are still relevant. Those reviews are still relevant today. One of the upcoming Flashback Mondays has a book in it that is currently in hot demand right now. The book was written in 2013 and it is in hot demand right now. So that magazine still counts today. So anyways, we've got it going here. So, Harry's been kidnapped. Ursula is our heroine. Broccoli is her manservant. Dale is her maidservant. Their Broccoli and Fran are married, or Broccoli and Dale, however you want to call her. We've got some other characters. We've got a lot of new characters. And, this is the first time I didn't pay attention. Didn't matter. All the extras didn't matter. And Ursula's been receiving marriage proposals left and right. And she's over it. She's really pissed off about it. She's like, stop cornering me. This guy kept cornering her and coming after her. And I kept having to go, did I miss something? How did he get here? What is he doing there? Huh? What? Who? Huh? And then it's just like she's remembering the past. I was like, oh, okay, so he's not really there. She's just reflecting on what happened with the guy. I was like, oh, okay, because it was driving me bonkers. I kept going through the chapters. Where's this guy mentioned? And I couldn't find a mention. And she was just genuflecting what happened several chapters ago. I was like, oh, okay, she's just doing that thing over again. So, Harry has been kidnapped. And she's frantic for him. She's setting out the alarm. Some of her animals get killed. It's horrible. It's totally unnecessary. I don't think, it might have been heartstring for plotline purposes, but it really didn't matter to the plotline what happened to the dogs. Although, if it wasn't for what happened to the dogs, they wouldn't have gone visit that other couple. All right, so then it was plotline. All right, I get it now that I think about it. I hadn't thought about it before. So, Harry's been kidnapped. And then a day or so later, Ursula gets kidnapped. And they take her off, and they hold her captive for a little while. And then they say to her, if you want your son back, you will have to kill Mary Stuart. We will only give you your son back if you will kill Mary Stuart. And she's like, oh, good God. I can't do this. Now, one of the reasons that I like the fact that this book is in this time frame and not in today's time frame, because then there would be listening devices, then there would be bugs, then there would be cameras, then there would be all this stuff going around. But see, in this time period, she can go tell Walsingham in the Queen's Court what's going on, and he can help guide her. Well, actually, she goes to the Queen first, and the Queen's like, don't tell Sir William, her court person, her treasurer person, Lord Burleigh, and don't tell the other Walsingham, her other agent. No. She goes running and tells Walsingham, And he's like, oh, is that why what's going on here? Why does the queen want you to go see Mary Stuart? What's going on here? So then she tells him, see, there's no one there to sit there and go, we're going to kill your son if you open your mouth. There's no listening devices. There's no cell phones. There's no cameras. There's no pictures. So no one knows what's going on. And maybe these people don't have paying spies to spy on her and watch her movements like crazy. So that was the one part that I liked because there was no secrecy. And Ursula does sit down and tell Broccoli and Gal and Sybil and Gladys and the whole 9 yards. Her whole household knows what's going on. That they want her to do this thing. But they can keep a secret. But then they need 2 people. And we bring in 2 new people. And those are the 2 new people you need to pay attention to. All of a sudden, hey, Broccoli, you don't know it, but while you were fighting in the army way, many years ago, your wife had your son. And he looks exactly like you. And she adopted him out because she was in a band of gypsies and she liked the band of gypsies and there was no life for her son and she wouldn't give up the gypsies for your son, so she adopted him out. So all of a sudden he shows up, hey, I'm your long lost son. And because he's Broccoli's identical twin, everybody's like, yep, sure is. And then they need a tutor for Harry, but of course by this point they have to let the tutor go. Or stuff happens with him later in the book, so I won't say that they let him go yet. I'll leave that hanging there. But, so they hire a new tutor for Harry, and they give both men, they give Philip Jr. 90 days, and they give the tutor 90 days to see if they work out with the horses. But then, of course, the kidnapping occurs, and Ursula gets kidnapped and gets back, and then she's got to go to London, and usually all these traveling takes time. This time it doesn't. It's like the next line she's there. There's very little traveling angst in this book at all. Very little, microscopic. So, and all the things that I wanted resoluted in this book didn't happen. We had some cliffhangers in the end of the book, and they still haven't been resolved. Although, since she's dealing with Walsingham, and Walsingham was one of the people that said, I don't want to see you ever again, and she's in his office, there's no mention of the previous conversation. Zero. And the queen still hasn't, although she's starting to lean towards the negative side of no for the French guy, because it's kind of getting too late now and stuff is stopped. Life stuff is stopped. So she's too old now. She will not be producing an heir. And the guy's still in France. Anyway, how serious can he be about a marriage to her if he's spending most of his time in France anyway? So that's, we know via history but it hasn't really been officially sliced yet. But the Walsingham, there was one other thing. There was 3 things that were left hanging. Oh, I forget what the other one was. But we did find out that Matthew did marry Kate from the last book. That was one little update that was in the middle of the book. Sorry, spoilers. But you can figure that out if you read the book. But that's like the whole... So, Harry gets kidnapped. Ursula gets kidnapped. They say, you gotta kill Mary Stuart, or we will kill your son. And so she goes to England. She gets the plans from Walsingham. She goes to Mary Stuart's. While she's at Mary Stuart's, her inner circle of servants is searching for Harry. And, before they do that, before they go to Mary Stuart's, they talk to the Ferrises, and their relationship is explained, and they've had friendships with them before, because they go to get new puppies. And they say, oh, we just rented out a place to the travelers. They're like, oh, you did? Let's go. And my problem is, All right. If I can find it quickly, I will share it with you. I wanted to say that I think it was oh, okay. All right. So, when you're going to rescue a person, right? Do you tell your readers that's the name of the chapter? Dead end. Do you think they're going to find him in this chapter? No! I was like, who does that? Who? Why? I mean, it did turn out to be a dead end, but it didn't turn out to be that kind of dead end. It turned out to be, there was no clues in the house. They did find the house where she was held, but there was no clues there. It was vacant. They had already moved on. So then she goes to stay with Mary Stuart. Stop it. Leave it to that mechanical being to ask a question in the middle of a video. Only me. So that's basically it. And you do find out later on in the book, Ursula is tempted, but you know Ursula will not do it. She's like, maybe if I give Mary Stuart a drop of this poison that she was given, she'll get a little ill, and people who are potentially watching or spying will know that she gave it an attempt, but she chickens out at the end, and thank God for that. So, what's going to happen with Harry? Do we find Harry? Is Harry alive? Is Harry dead? What's going on with Harry? What does Broccoli do that's different? That I hadn't heard of a character from this particular time period doing that before, but he does something different. And maybe I should have opened with that. I don't think of these things when I start my videos. I just don't. So Broccoli did something different. It's kind of cute. It's kind of different. But what happens? Do we find Harry? Do we not find Harry? You have to read the book. What is Ursula's relationship with the Queen? Is the Queen gonna marry the French guy? Well, obviously we know history says no, so that's kind of a boring, a done deal. So, like I said, a couple of the cliffhangers that were left in the last book that I was anxious to see resolved, I knew probably they weren't going to be, and they're totally ignored in this book. Totally, absolutely ignored. She's dealing with these people, and Walsingham doesn't even say, well, I told you I never wanted to see you again. It's under the bridge. It's over. They don't even deal with it. They don't even address it. They don't do anything about it. It's just totally ignored. So I'm like, all right. So, are you up for the next one? I got some shopping to do. What is up with my butt? No one is watching my videos. No one. I'd like to thank you all for watching my videos. If you're still here now, thank you very much. So, does Ursula find Harry? Does she find him alive? What does Harry do? Harry does something courageous that's never been done by a little kid. May have been done by a little kid, who knows? Will they find him guilty? Guilty of what? Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I don't even know what I mean by that. What happens with Mary Stuart? I had to look up her history. I'm like, oh, she's got a few more years yet. But poor Ursula. That's what I was thinking of. The other guy, the Harrison guy. His story wasn't even thought of in this book. So, well, that's the one story that needs to be addressed. We'll have to see what happens with that. All right. Because I don't know if it'll be addressed ever. It might just be left. So I'll have to see. So here it is. Harry is kidnapped. Ursula's kidnapped. She's told if she wants her son back, she's got to kill Mary Stuart. She's released, but at least she's able, because of the time period, go talk to everybody and get help from everybody while she's doing this stuff. And she also has, and you need to pay attention to this one particular person that I didn't even give a thought, didn't even faze me, nothing, 6 Ways to Sunday. And that's why it hit me in the face, out of the blue, at the end of the book, when we discovered the real motives behind this person. He's an insignificant person. He's a bug, and Ursula just wants to get rid of him, and he's driving me bonkers, and I just want to. And he turns out to have nefarious purposes. You'll have to check it out. Have a good one.